Holy Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ according to Mark.
Glory to you, Lord Christ.
The apostles gathered around Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away to a deserted place all by yourselves and rest a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. Now they went away in the boat to a deserted place by themselves. And many saw them going and recognized them, and they hurried there on foot from all the towns and arrived ahead of them. As he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. When they had crossed over, they came to land at Gennesaret and moored the boat. When they got out of the boat, people at once recognized him and rushed about that whole region and began to bring the sick on mats to wherever they heard he was. And wherever he went, into villages or cities or farms, they laid the sick in the marketplaces and begged him that they might touch even the fringe of his cloak. And all who touched it were healed. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Please be seated. I'm something of a news junkie. In the mornings, I listen to the news on my radio app while I get ready for work. And my phone lights up several times a day with notifications of breaking stories from the Times or the Post. I read a lot of those stories and check out other news outlets as well. There's so much going on in this big wide world, and while I know I couldn't possibly keep up with all of it, I am deeply interested in trying to stay connected at some level with the world's events and people and their stories. If I were reading about today's gospel in the newspaper, I might find this story in the entertainment section. Huge crowds of people are following this guy Jesus around. They're looking for him to come to a place near them, sort of like the Monkees. Remember their song? Coming to a place near you. And they rushed out to hear him and meet him everywhere he goes. They recognize him easily and flock to him, as if he and the disciples were the Grateful Dead or something. Or I might read it in the lifestyle and wellness section. The world is so busy, and there's so many things pulling at us from this side and that. Our spiritual leader, Jesus, reminds us that we need sometimes to get away, to refresh, to rest, to sit down and have a healthy meal and recharge. Or at the health section, people are desperate for healing. Times are tough, and they're helping one another the best they can, volunteering to take family, friends, and neighbors to places where they might receive help from Jesus, who is a great healer. That's certainly a relevant topic these days, and the health section is in great need of an uplifting story. It might even be in the education section. Jesus, the teacher, mentor to many disciples, sends them out to teach others and then brings them back to talk about their experiences, to help them be better teachers themselves. He not only teaches the few, but the many. And he is that rare kind of teacher who is spurred on by compassion, especially for those who are struggling and scattered because of their circumstances. And his teaching is all about the healing power of love. These are all good ways to look at and think about this story. But frankly, the part that jumps out at me, that really jumps out at me from the Gospels today, is the word marketplace. Wherever Jesus went, into villages or cities or farms, they laid the sick in the marketplaces and begged him that they might touch even the fringe of his cloak, and all who touched it were healed. The marketplace. I listen to Marketplace Morning Report on NPR. I read in the business section about what's happening in the world of, business. For many of us, marketplace is the word that describes the place that is at the center of it all, the engine that makes our economy go. In the old days, too, of course, the marketplace was the physical center of everything. The marketplace was not just where you acquired a new horse or your vegetables, but it was also the public square, the ground zero intersection of commerce and culture and conversation. And in this story, oddly enough, that's where the people brought their sick. Right into the marketplace. Not to the synagogue, not to the leper colony or other enclave of the unwell off to the side somewhere. Not even to the village healer's house. They brought them into the marketplace, the place that is also the center of public life and the heart of the whole economy, and begged for Jesus' attention there. So I'm wondering, maybe the message from the gospel today is asking us to bring the poor, the hungry, the imprisoned, the sick, the dying, the desperate, right into the marketplace, right into the center of things, the place where much of our focus is, and beg for the world's attention. Maybe the lost, the least, the grieving, the sad and confused should be right there in the center instead of off to the side, out to a view, and maybe out of mind as well. Remember how in the early days of the pandemic, somehow the message became this either-or thing in terms of importance and focus? Either the economy or the health and safety of the people. And folks were fighting each other to the death on this issue, and maybe they still are. But what if we bring health and well-being into the marketplace too? What if we bring poverty and racism and loss of hope? What if we invite those who are hurting to bring their pain? Those who suffer things we're not aware of. Those who need to be seen and understood, right into the middle of that all-important center. What if we bring all these things together instead of compartmentalizing them, or worse yet, shifting things off to the side? And broaden our view to see that the marketplace cannot thrive if the people are suffering. And maybe the message from the gospel today is that Jesus walks through the marketplace too, just like we do. And when he does, he walks with compassion and leaves healing in his wake. What would the world be like if we all did that? If we all left healing in our wake as we walk along our own journeys with compassion, just as part of our everyday life and work? What if we all did that?